Hey everyone, welcome back to Glitz and Glitter. So today I have 3 tumblers. I'm going to squeeze it all in one video. It probably will be longer than normal, but because I know tumbler videos are not quite as popular as everything else that I do around here. So I'm just going to squish all 3 orders into one video because they kind of have the same vibe anyway. So the first one wants their dogs on it. And this was ordered for someone named Mary, and I don't think she knows she's getting it. So this is Cole and this is Daisy, and Mary happens to be my sister-in-law. So my brother ordered her a 20-ounce tumbler because I gave him one for Christmas and she loves it. So I guess she wants her own. So Ray said to put the 2 dogs on and that she likes the color black, pink, and blue, but I didn't want to like mix pink and blue together, but I did have this really nice holographic black. You can't tell in the jar, but this is a holographic. It will have all the different colors. So we're going to do the tack it method with that on hers. She's getting a 20-ounce tumbler. And then I have this one here, and I did get permission to put her picture on. So this one is going on a 20-ounce tumbler as well, and she lives in West Virginia. And she wanted the West Virginia colors, which are blue and gold. So I'm going to do a swirl design on hers, get the swirl design done, and then put her picture on the front. And she also wants WV somewhere on the tumbler for the state of West Virginia. So she is very patriotic for her state. So that is hers. She's a 20-ounce. And then I have a 30-ounce who sent me their logo. And this is the logo, and she loves Tiffany blue. So, and she loves glitter. She ordered a 30-ounce, and she wants her name, which is Joanne, on the back of the cup or anywhere on the cup, probably the back. And I don't have perfect Tiffany blue, but I do have this holographic blue. So this is going to look gorgeous on the tack it method as well. So I'm going to do the 2 tack it methods together, and I'm going to get the alcohol drop one done first. So while that's done, or moving around and getting all the colors mixed together, we're going to work on the tack it method. But before I do all that, I did fill in the bottom indentation with UV resin. Got that cured. It took about 2 minutes to get those are solid as a rock. I printed all these out on my vinyl in my printer, so I will be spray sealing these with clear sealer. Make sure you spray seal anything that you're printing on your printer because you do not want it to get smudged under your resin. So I will be doing that, and these will be drying for probably a day or 2 before I end up getting to them. So I'm going to set those aside, and I'm going to spray paint all of these. So 2 of them I'm going to spray paint black, the 2 small ones. The large one I will be spray painting blue because of the blue glitter. So before we do that, you just take some sandpaper, any grit that you have. This one is 220. Sand your surface. So just scratch it up. Not horrible, just for a minute, like literally just a minute. Make sure the surface is nice and scratched. And then you're going to take a paper towel and some alcohol, and you're going to wash the surface down until it's nice and clean. Put it on your turner arm before you spray paint so you don't get paint all over your hands. Because these are quite dirty after you sand them down. See how dirty that is? So then you're just going to get your arm. I think that's for my big one. I have to finagle mine. I've used them so many times, they're all squished. So I do have to use non-stick whatever. Use whatever you need to use if you have to, just so the arm doesn't move in its place, because I've squashed them down in these cups so many times. They don't stick. So this one is ready to get painted black. So I'm going to sand all these, get them painted and dried, and then we will begin the adventure. Okay, we're going to start on Lisa's West Virginia cup right now. I am just mixing up 20 milliliters of resin. And the one that I use for this technique is Illuminate Amazing Clear Cast Epoxy. I think actually Joann Fabrics has this. I think they all have them. Hobby Lobby. I'm not sure. I buy it online, but I'm pretty sure they carry that brand, even Michael's. The reason I use that brand for this technique is because it gives it the longest working time to move all those colors and get them nice and swirly. If you haven't seen this technique, then you'll figure it out in just a minute. So I've got my little drip mat underneath. I'm just going to cover it generously. Now make sure your spray paint is dry. You don't want your spray paint wet, so make sure it's dry. Get a nice good coverage of resin on the whole cup before we start dripping colors, because you're gonna want them to move and kind of blend. So you don't want to be chintzy with the resin on this go round. So after it's dry, and before I come back with this one again, I will be putting another coat of resin on top of it, the same way I'm doing it now. So I don't usually show too many coats of epoxy on my videos because you can always just rewind and see how I'm putting it on. So I'm just getting it nice and even, spreading it, and I'm going to get my heat gun and change my glove. Well, let me see if I can wipe it off first. I'm actually going to use my torch. I'm going to pop all the bubbles. Even though they'll probably pop on their own, but actually I'm not using alcohol inks today. I'm using pigments for those colors. So make sure you have enough resin on there. So I'm using the blue, the yellow, and pinata white. And all I'm gonna do, actually, I think I need more resin at the bottom here. If you don't have enough, these colors will not move. But then if you have too much, they're just going to drip off. So there's like a happy medium. Plus I just heated it up, so it made it a little bit more watery. All right. So you're just going to take your colors, shake them really good, and just start dripping them onto the cup. Just in random. You really can't tell where it's going. But the white is going to bring out all these colors. So that was the blue, and now I'm going to do the yellow. Let's shake them really good. We're probably going to get a green now that I'm thinking about it. I'm going to drip the white on and see what happens. I really don't want greens. Don't forget the bottom of your cup. And then your white basically is going to bring out the colors. And then you can take your colors again. I'm trying to avoid the green, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to avoid green. Alright guys, so I'm going to teach you a lesson. I do not want the green in this cup at all. What I'm going to do, I stopped it. I'm going to take it off. I'm going to grab a paper towel. And I'm going to wipe that all off. And I decided I'm going to do it in 2 steps. I'm going to do a blue layer and then a yellow layer because there is no green in West Virginia colors. So I'm just going to take a paper towel and wipe it back down to the paint. Best that you can. I've done this many times when I'm not happy. And if you get it while it's wet, it's not a big deal. So we're just going to wipe it all off. I'm going to mix up some more resin. Bottom, yeah, I might as well wipe it. And we're going to start all over with just blue. I put another coat of resin on there. So yeah, I'm not used to wanting 2 distinct colors, and I completely forgot that they were going to just, you know, make their own color. I mean, I knew the second I started dripping the yellow, it was going to turn to green, and I'm like, oh no. So we're going to just do the blue today. Let it dry. Do the same procedure tomorrow and get the yellow mixed in there. So just put the blue and the white. Let it mix around. You could turn the spinner the other way if you want to get the pattern a different way. You could take it off your arm, kind of hold it up, hold it down, upside down a little bit. All different ways to get different patterns. I'm going to drop this on the bottom again. Not a big deal. It just took an extra couple minutes to mix up another 20 milliliters. See how that's gonna start merging, and then if you don't want all that white, you just drip your blue right back into the white. Which I would rather have the blue, but you want to be able to see it on the black, so you have to have the white. And then you can take your turner and flip it the other way. Sometimes it takes a few times. Turn it that way. I think what I'm going to do is take it off for a minute. Hold it like this. Shake it down so it starts moving down a little bit. See how it's dripping? Then up. And then I'm just going to put it back on and let it spin. Oops. There we go. All right, I'm just going to let this do its thing tonight, and we'll be back tomorrow. It's the next day. I just put a new coat of resin on. It looks really good. I think I'm going to try alcohol ink before I try the pigment though. And I do want it to spin the other way. Come on. There we go. So I'm just going to drip this on now so we can get the 2 distinct colors that we're looking for. Not a ton. And it looks like if it's over the blue, you're still going to see a little bit of that green. Try to do everything I can to get it out, but unfortunately, blue and yellow make green. I don't want to cover up all my blue, so I'm just trying to keep it a little less. And we're just gonna let it spin again both ways. Maybe I'll take my heat gun to it a little bit and blow it around. All right, so now that this one is about done with color, we're gonna move on to the tack it method. So for the tack it method, if you have watched me before, please, I apologize for being redundant, but there's a lot of people new to the channel or new to tumblers or new to resin. So I always like to explain what I'm doing, no matter how many times I do it. And I use tack it over and over. Of course, my dogs like to interrupt everything. So I will link everything below that I use. You take this glue and you water it down 50-50, glue to water. I keep mine in here because I use it a lot. You don't have to, you can just mix up what you want. I take these little brushes, which are very inexpensive. I will link these below. And you just cover your tumbler with a nice thin coat. Doesn't have to be thick. You want it to dry fairly quickly. And you cover the whole thing and you let it dry. Dry completely. It'll be clear. It'll be tacky, obviously. And then once it's dry, you're going to do it again. Now, I have found if you have a tumbler curing machine that has the dryer inside, it goes really fast. So you can take that little shortcut, or it takes like 20 minutes per layer. So because I have 3 tumblers on my turner right now, my dryer will not fit over it. So I'm just gonna have to be patient. So just put it on, let it dry, do it again. You want 2 coats of the tack it on there. And then we will move on to the glitter part. Once your glue is fully dry, it'll be clear and tacky to the touch. So we're going to start with the blue one. You're just going to pour your glitter. Make sure you have a piece of paper on your counter. You're going to want to catch all this glitter and not waste it. And just pour your glitter all over the cup. Nice heavy coat, although I don't have a ton in my jar, so I'm going to have to pick mine up and reuse it. It works best, like I said, with holographic glitter, but it doesn't have to be holographic. I'm just going to pick it up and reuse it. It has a totally different look to it once it's laid down as it does right now. And I will show you the difference when I start rubbing it in. I mean, you could definitely resin over this as it is. You don't have to lay it down. You can even put your glitter on with your resin if you want to. If you're not going to lay it down, you don't have to go through this extra step. So I think I got it everywhere. Just make sure. And it works best with gloved hands. All right, so I'm just gonna pick this up, put it in my jar. Some people like to save the glitter after they rub it down, and some people throw it away. That's just personal preference, whatever you wanna do. So take your hand and just start rubbing it in. And you'll see that it's going to get the holographic effect to it, and it's going to look a little different, and it's going to be like super smooth. So see how the holographics are coming out? You'll be able to tell better on the side. It's so hard to see in a camera, but this part has not been rubbed and this part has. It's very pretty. Unfortunately, the camera is not picking it up that good. Maybe it'll do better with the black one. So just rub it all down. Sometimes it's harder than others. I don't know why, because I do it the same, but sometimes it just needs more coaxing with your wrist and your fingers, and sometimes it just goes right down. Make sure you get all the way around the rim of the bottom. Oops. And then once your glitter's down, you can start your resining. You don't have to wait any longer. And I know you can't, I don't think you can see it very good, and that stinks because it is really, really pretty. It's got all the colors of the rainbow in here. Maybe you'll see better on the black one. I'm going to set this one aside and we'll start the next one. For this black one, I think I'm going to add a little bit of this chunky holographic as well. So when you add chunky, you always add that first, because that's going to hold on to your glue quicker. And you don't rub it down though. You just kind of sprinkle it on. And then I'm going to fill in the rest with the, actually, I like the way this one looks more than the fine glitter. I think I'm just going to use this. I really like this one. I'm just going to pour this one on. Change of plans. See, I always change my plans. This one is really pretty. I got plenty of it. All right, so I'm just going to pick this up, put it back in my jar before I start rubbing it down. Move that out of the way. And this one rubs down way easier than the fine did. This one is way easier than the other one. See, I don't understand. It must be the glitter. This one just went right down. Just go around everything a couple times, around your rim. You don't want anything sticking up because it's a lot more resin and a lot more sanding. Plus it's all over my hands. So I'm going to change my gloves, re-wipe it down because it's coming off my hands back onto this cup. So you can see that one much better. That's going to be really pretty with the pictures of the dogs on there. All right, meet you over there. For these two, I'm going to use my Fast Set by Counterculture DIY. Just because it's going to quickly set. Now I'm going to start with the blue one because I don't want to transfer any black glitter to that one on my glove. So I don't, oh, see, I have a couple little pieces on my glove. You don't want anything on your glove if you're doing different glitters because you don't want to transfer them over from one to the other. It doesn't matter from this one to that one, but now 2 to 3 is about the maximum. I'll do at the same time with this particular resin because it sets up and gets sticky really, really quickly. So I'm glad I only have 2 to do with this one. It'll be pushing it when I do all 3 of these together on the final coats. But this one should be dry in about an hour or 2. And then we can start putting the decals on. I may wait though until this one's dry just to do them all at the same time. So I'll probably cut out the decals for the names and things while I'm waiting. they are all cured. They are all on the same level now. So I had to wait for that blue and gold one to catch up because I used a different resin. I'm just going to take my sandpaper now and sand it down, because before you put any vinyl on anything, you want a flat surface. So make sure you're knocking down any bumps and lumps from your resin. You don't have to go crazy. I'm going to do the top rim too. Expose a little bit of that silver for the resin to hold on to. Then you wash them all down before we're going to put anything on. You don't want to put any decals onto dust. All right, that feels good. I'm just going to do the same thing to all three of them, and then we'll come back. We're going to start with this one. And I thought I ruined the picture, these little white spots on there. So I went back to look at the original photo that was sent to me. And that's his, the metal part on his leash is showing. And this background, I put it on. This is, yeah, it's fake background. I didn't like the background on the picture. It was just some random, I don't know. I think it was in the yard or something. So I did an AI background for him. So if Ray and Mary are wondering where the heck that picture came from, it's because I made it up. I just put your dog on it. So I'm just going to peel this off. It looks matte because it is matte. This is what I spray everything with, Mod Podge Matte. I sprayed it really, really good. So it'll come back to life just as soon as we put some resin on here. So getting it, I have to grab a weeding tool. Getting it started is the problem. There we go. Sometimes I just fold back the top portion and kind of just see where I want it before I actually press it on. All right, let's see here. I'm going to pull this backing off. And very slowly. And this does take practice. You're not going to get this on your first try. If you do end up with a bubble, take a nice sharp X-Acto knife and cut the bubble and then push the air out. There's no bubbles in this one. And since her favorite colors are blue, pink, and black, I figured I did the black on the background. I'm going to do blue around Cole since he's a boy, and I'm going to do pink around Daisy since she's a girl. So I will just speed this up for you a little bit. I cut out their names, and I also cut out, without permission, is a whole bunch of paw prints to put randomly on the cup. I thought those would look cute and take up some of the space that's there. Now, I have a love-hate relationship with transfer tape, so I end up using painter's tape. I tried 2 different transfer tapes, and it just would not lift the letters off. I don't know why. I hate that stuff, but I do. The only problem with this tape is it comes off easy enough, but I'm just guessing because I can't see through it. So worst case scenario, I gotta pull it off and try it again. See, I'm afraid to even put it on. I try to cut it as close to the word as I possibly can to kind of get the idea of where the word is sitting. I don't know if it's just, I buy permanent smart vinyl, which is very heavy duty. And then it's got glitter on it, so I don't know if that's the issue or not. Oh, that came out pretty good. So there's Daisy. Now we're gonna do Cole, which his name is a little bit bigger. Let me get a new piece of tape. I'll speed this up for you. I'm just going to be transferring each one. I have like 8 or 9 of these little paw prints. I don't know how many I'm going to use. So I'm just going to speed you up because this is going to take a while and I've got 3 cups to do. So I don't want you sitting there watching every single second. Well, that wasn't fun, but in the end, it's worth it. So there's Daisy's. I got paw prints everywhere. Okay, that's good. I'm just going to put a bottom sticker on there, which I forgot to grab. This is just a little care instructions on what to do and what not to do. Goes in the middle. I don't know how well you're going to see. I kind of have to pull it off so I can get it in the center. Just press it down. So this is the time to get all your decals because we're going to be sealing this next. There we go. I'm just going to set this over on the turner and grab the next one. I forgot to show you. You guys all said you'd like to see my extras. So for Mary's, her extras will be these. So I made a pendant and matching earrings of the same, obviously the same glitter for hers. And then for Miss West Virginia, I had a couple extras. So I made her West Virginia colors with this pendant and earrings in the gold. I put a little butterfly on that one. And I also had this left over, so I made her the blue. So another pendant and earrings. So those will be her freebies. The other one are still drying, so I can't show you those freebies yet, but they are coming. This one is just getting this decal. Now I emailed her a picture of this and she approved it. So she said it was good to keep going. I'm just gonna take the vinyl off of this. The only thing I need to do other than this one is her WV that she wanted on there. So I'm just gonna I can't do washi tape because it's round. So there will be no framing. I did cut some white out for the framing, best that I could. And again, that picture will come to life. Now I'm gonna go cut out the WV. I'm just gonna kind of figure out what color. I'm thinking white, maybe WV here or WV here. I'm not sure. Let me think about that and I'll bring it back as soon as I have it cut. I decided to go white and I decided to go right across, and I had a fight with this to stay on the vinyl, on the transfer paper. So pretty easy, 2 letters. And I need to get a bottom sticker. All right, now that's on. I chose the white. I have several color bottom stickers. I chose the white because there's a lot of white in here. I'm gonna move this over. Everything looks good, no bubbles anywhere. And move this over to the turner. And the last one. I think this sticker goes great with this cup. And again, I can't do washi tape because it's round. I'm just going to kind of fold it like a taco and roll down one side at a time, slowly. And then the other side. Now I'm going to cut out her name. Go double check the spelling. There we go. That looks good. I think that looks great. Go. So whatever you do, double check somebody's name because I had it spelled wrong and I almost printed it. I had an E on the end. Her name is Joanne with no E on the end. So I'm so glad I double checked that. And if you have to use painter's tape and you can't see through it, I cut very, very close to the letters. So I kind of know what I'm looking at. And I went with white because it's going to show nicer on this cup. Now, the good thing about all three of these, they are for women. And I'm going to add a glitter topping to them all. So all the photos, the decals will have a little shimmer to them. So they won't just be plain white. There we go. Got the thing on the bottom, her name, everything looks good. It's time to seal it all in with some urethane sealer. It's nice to have them all at the same stage because from here on out, they'll all be drying at the same rate. So this is the Quick Coat urethane sealer, also made by Counterculture DIY. So it sticks nicely, it seals in everything, especially that washi tape over there. I'm just going to make sure. I had some big black stray glitters floating around. There's one. I just don't want them on these two cups. Everything looks pretty good. So basically, you just put it on your hand, seal it in just like resin. Let it dry completely. I do the whole cup. I don't just do the decals because the resin sticks really nice to this stuff. Just a thin layer. But do make sure it gets around all these edges of your decals, and that will seal them all in. And there's that stray glitter. Got it. They are all done. They each have 5 coats of resin total. And I put a little shimmer in, but I don't know if you'll be able to see it in the picture. Kind of can see it in that one. The camera is terrible, you guys. I'm trying. This one, they all have shimmer on them. So that gave this one a nice pretty look to it too. I know you probably can't see it, but it's there. We're just going to trim the tops. And this one you can barely see, but it goes nicely with the cup. There's her name. And the bottoms. So just take a craft knife and go around the top. Get your extra resin off. And you can do this between coats, but because I didn't need to sand between coats, mine came out really smooth for all 3 of them, which was awesome. You can trim it at any time. You can trim it between each coat if you want to. Some people trim it every single time so it doesn't build up, but it comes right off. It's not hard. So you just scrape all that off. Get a paper towel and some acetone. Clean out the inside. Spray paint overspray, and then wash them down inside and outside with a good cleaning of soapy water. And then you're just going to let them cure a couple of days before you mail them out if you have orders. It's not fully cured for 30 days, but they're not like drinking from it. I include a straw because I recommend drinking from straws out of these. It's not a food safe resin, so you're not eating off of it. I don't think it's going to kill you, but it's very controversial when you start talking about that. So I will get you some better photos. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I hope all three of you who got these tumblers like them. So thanks for joining me today. And guess what? I will see you tomorrow. Have a blessed day. Bye-bye.